This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform. Creativity comes at a cost. Bitterness, envy, even just disappointment in yourself. And when you want to do everything and be good at it, you almost always fall short of that standard. You want to create beautiful things, you want to become a skilled athlete, you want to have a healthy social life, and make a name for yourself in the world. But that is a heavy burden to bear. If you're not blessed with wealth, with perfect discipline, and with this comfortable bubble of predictability in life, then you're not going to achieve all that. And it's painful. Content creators offer you all the solutions, the time management, the habits, the morning routines, all of that stuff. I'm one of them. And yes, I try to add nuance and be realistic, but I'll be the first to admit that a lot of that stuff works in theory. And as soon as we apply it to our life, things change, they go wrong, and it's not that simple. They're all ideals that we keep trying to get to, but always seem to fall short of. It feels hopeless sometimes, but there is room for chill, sensible growth. One that's grounded in reality and free from all the flashy lies that you see online. If you want to do everything all at once, right now, that's unlikely to happen, especially not without burnouts. But you don't have to. And you can take all of your passions, your crafts, your interests, and then spread them out over a lifetime, which is what I call hobby seasons. Suddenly it feels possible, because sometimes I'm reading Wikipedia pages of people I admire, as you do, and I'm thinking, how the hell did they get all this done? There's so much here. And then you get to the end of the page and it says death, and you realize, oh, well, that was the whole life I read on the page. All of the struggle, the triumphs, the stories, all crushed into just a few paragraphs. And that really puts it into perspective. This is a lifetime of work, and we should stop rushing to complete all that now. We seem to forget that. Look, good things take a lot of time. Obviously, that's not an excuse to put things off and not work hard, but we have to be fair with ourselves and manage those expectations. That's what the idea of hobby seasons capture. Instead of squeezing everything into the present, just focus on 1, 2, maybe 3 things for a period of time, and then put the rest on the back burner and maybe save them for another period, which will make more sense in your life. When you have work, college and school, it makes sense to still make progress, but also have some variety. But just before we see how to put it into action, I'd like to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video, since a lot of their tools enable creativity in the first place. Squarespace helps you make your passion public. You can show your art, you can host your writing, or use it as the hub of your online business, whatever it may be. I know piss all about web development, nothing. And even then I was able to use their drag and drop editor to create a website that I envisioned in my head, that fit my style. And if you're stuck on what to create, you can just use the AI website builder, which will do the heavy lifting for you based on your suggestions and your creative direction. And of course, you can then tinker it afterwards. If you want to earn money from your craft, which is totally fair, Squarespace has the tools to accept payments. And that's on top of the booking software and also the built-in email marketing. There's also a useful analytics page, which helps you understand your traffic and to use it as feedback to improve, which is super important. To get started yourself, you can go to squarespace.com and use their free trial to actually build your own website. And once you feel ready to launch it, you can go to squarespace.com/Odysseus and use code Odysseus to then get 10% off at checkout. So do have a look, I think you'll like it. So what do hobby seasons look like in reality? Well, the idea is that you pick 1, 2, maybe 3 different pursuits if you're feeling cocky, and then you focus on those for a given period. And that means inevitably you'll have to, prioritize some things, neglect others, and maybe push them for the future. I know it sounds painful to sacrifice a hobby, but you do this knowing that there will be a chance for it in the future. You will be able to try new things, to put old things aside, to really explore what you want in that moment as you mature as a person. Now you'll see more of this later, but you can also pick your interests so that they really supplement your life in that moment rather than, clashing with it. Now the main example I'll use to show you this is cooking. I love cooking. I still do. And I don't do it as much now because I'm busy with writing, with the channel, everything. Half of the time nowadays, my lunch looks like prison food from Skyrim. It's just like a block of cheddar, bread, cold fish. It's not glamorous, but it's simple and I don't mind that. But for the 3 years I was in college, I spent ages finding good recipes, sourcing all the weird ingredients from different shops, and really trying to learn from my mistakes when I fucked up with a dish. It was time consuming naturally, and that means I had less time, of course, for other things. If I wanted to start painting or some other instrument, I would have struggled, and it would have been a pain in the ass to keep up. The time element is pretty obvious. You do less, so you have more time for it. Simple. But there's a hidden benefit that we often overlook, and I was hinting at this earlier. You can actually pick those interests based on your current needs in your life, wherever you are. By this, I mean that they amplify your core parts of life without serving as a distraction or pulling you away from them. These core parts might be your work, your relationships, or who you are as a person in that moment in your life, because it changes. You can tailor these hobby seasons to help you there, to give you what you need when you need it. For example, it made sense for me to learn cooking in college because A, I was shit at it, B, I have to eat, and C, it's a necessary life skill that you should learn early on. Like, imagine you bring a girl home and serve her ground beef on toast. It's over for you. You're done. You're single for the rest of your life and no one loves you. That was a joke, by the way. Find yourself someone who will appreciate that, and then you're good. And that perfectly leads onto a worry that you might have. You might think, well, what if I stop a hobby and I get worse at it, or I start to miss it? What then? And that is totally valid to be scared about. Of course, I'm not banning you from doing any hobby. You do what you want. And if you think, well, I missed that time I was camping or I was hiking, go and do it. Chances are that keeps pulling you back for a reason. It's something meaningful to you, something you value above everything else. I'm not going to hunt you down and beat you up because you didn't obey the law of the hobby seasons. Do what you want. Plus, you have to remember that you have muscle memory, which is incredibly powerful. I can decide to cook something very elaborate tomorrow, and my knife skills will still be there, my experience will still be there, and all my knowledge of flavors and heat transfer is all still there. Yes, after many years or months, you will have to get used to it again, but you still have that muscle memory that gives you the foundation to, clean off that rust from. If you're a musician, then you know exactly what I mean. I've been traveling a lot recently, so I've kind of neglected the violin. I put it aside. And I know that if I pick it up now, even after, a month or two, I will be able to play it. I'm certain. Yes, I'll sound rusty, I'll sound bad, but I will have that muscle memory embedded within. So it shouldn't take that long to get back into motion, to grease the, what's the word? Grease, is that a thing? To, clear off the rust. The term actually comes from the gym. If you go to the gym consistently, you build a strength and a good physique. It will take a long time to lose all of that muscle and strength. But then when you do return to the gym, because you have, I don't know the science behind it, but you will be able to build it back more quickly than before because you have that foundation which you worked hard for in the past. So in short, once you put the effort in to build up a skill, it's good at sticking around for the long term. So the hobby seasons shouldn't be too much of an issue. Another great thing about hobby seasons is that you can work with your energy levels rather than against them. So you might come home after a long day at work and, you should practice your filmmaking or your cooking, whatever. And you just think, I cannot be asked for this. That I've been on my feet all day. Everyone's grabbed my attention. I'm drained. I don't want to do any of that. That's totally fair. So maybe you save those busy periods for your more relaxing interests, the things that recharge you, that give you energy, and don't demand too much mental effort and power. For me in the past, this was mainly practicing Photoshop or reading, something like that. Then when things get quieter, maybe during a holiday or just a less busy period, you switch to the more demanding interests, the ones that really deserve a lot of attention and time and a big investment from yourself. This way you use your energy wisely and you get the best results either way. It's a simple idea, hobby seasons. Maybe it's obvious to you, I don't know, maybe not. But I found that they just help me keep things realistic, but most importantly, fresh and dynamic, and it's given me a chance to have that variety in life, but also make progress and not hate myself in the moment. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone. That's never the case with these sorts of things. But I will say it is realistic because it really forces you to be a minimalist and to be a sort of Renaissance man over a long period of time, which everyone can do. But I'd love to know if you have any different philosophy to how you approach these things. If there's anything more intuitive, maybe better for other people in the comments. It's always helpful to share and to help each other grow in a good direction. If you like these videos, you'll also enjoy the newsletter. It's linked below. It's not spammy, it's free, and we talk about some similar ideas, but also some different, exciting, fresh things. I don't post enough on there, which is bad, but you know, in the next few months, it should be quieter. I will get more out there. So yeah, do have a look at that. I think you'll enjoy it. And of course, thank you so much for watching.